I feel like one of us should moderate the comments and one of us should talk to people.
Okay.
I'm so bad at comments,
Well,
but I'm looking. Hi,
let
guys.
me give you moderator. So can you post? I don't know if you can actually. Can you post a comment real quick, just so I don't have to look for your name? And
Kelly's here.
what's up, Detroit? Your green walls? You mean my green screen? I don't have green walls.
Wait, guys, can I ask you a question? I think that Tim should be my new podcast co-host because I just finished recording my first season of my podcast, and now I need another co-host. And I think
Danielle, so I mean, if you want to have this conversation on live, we can. But well, we can have
I want people's feedback because I want to know if that's like.
All right, well then I gotta fill them in on the whole story though. Like, okay, so I've been told for the last like 4 years, do a podcast. So Veronica and I tried to do a podcast. We did on OnlyFans though, because Veronica, and here's why. Of course, OnlyFans is not the best platform to do a podcast, but we were talking about content that Veronica was more comfortable having behind a paywall.
Okay.
Just because like she's got a corporate job, you know what I mean? So like that's why I got in so much trouble about that threesome joke. Was like, you know, I shouldn't have said it because I know that Veronica has a corporate job, and like it was my mistake. Like I made a mistake, and you know, me and her have talked about what she's comfortable with me talking about on TV and what she's not. And trust me, there's a lot of shit I've never said that people would be fascinated by.
I would agree.
You know. So anyway, so like I slipped up on the tell-all and said that, and I apologized to her profusely, but then people ran with it and they edited it where it made me sound like me and Veronica had a threesome with a 98 person, that people were saying it was Kenny. And then like I was hoping that story went away because like I knew Veronica was so pissed at me, and then like they spun that shit about it being Kenny, and then I started seeing it like in the media and I was like, oh my god, like please y'all, not on this one. Please not on this one, because normally whatever they're writing is bullshit, which that is bullshit. But I was trying to tell Veronica, like, no, I haven't seen anybody talking about it. Like, don't worry about it. It'll blow over, you know. And really, I hadn't until all of a sudden I did, and I was like, oh, fuck.
Yeah, well, because I think people were trying to figure out who mine was because they're like, wait, who the fuck did she have a threesome with? Because I said it was another cast member. So they were trying.
Oh, I don't know if I know that. Like a main cast member.
I can't tell you. I never told a soul.
I mean, you could tell me.
I know everyone keeps asking.
Okay, so well, just tell me this: has this person been on more than one episode?
Yes.
Okay, then that limits it down to, you know. Okay, all right. So anyway, so we did this like podcast, and again, Veronica and I have nothing in common. She doesn't know how to edit. She doesn't like. I wanted to set up like real microphones. She just wanted to like film it on an iPhone, and I was like being OCD about it being 4K and professional, and she wasn't filming it. So she's like, "Look, if you want it done like that, I'm just gonna film and you can take it home." So then I was having to take it home and like edit these 2 and 3 hour podcasts, and it was way too much work. And then like we were butting heads on the subject content because I wanted to talk about shit that she didn't want to talk about, and I was like, no, okay. So fast forward like 2 years later, a couple of different people came at me with like, oh, we should do a podcast. But I actually had a company reach out that I told you was willing to put me on salary, and I came to them with 2 different people I wanted to be my partners. They didn't like them. They came at me with 2 different people that were like YouTube famous or influencers. I didn't really feel like I jived with them. And then I asked them to do it with someone else, and that was shut down from not them, but a bigger entity. Okay. So, and you know what I'm talking about, but I don't want to say it. Okay. So, then it was like, I'm friends with Avery. Avery has a podcast. She was on B90 season 4. She lives in Charlotte now. We did a test podcast together. I thought it went okay. Like me and Avery have done a lot of business together over the last couple of years, so we know each other well. But she's like on some tinfoil hat shit, and which is that's cool. But like
the same tinfoil hat shit I'm on.
No. Like she not like I like conspiracy theories and shit. Don't get me wrong. I love a good fucking alien documentary, we're living in the Matrix. Like, it's interesting, but like, there's a difference in watching that shit as entertainment and like actually like living your life around those type of things. And like, I just had a hard time relating.
Okay.
You know, because like I want to make fun of those people, like, you know, so it was like, which if you got, you know, the right skill set of being able to take a joke, like I take jokes every day that I'm trans, that I was born, you know, like I don't care, it's whatever. But like some people get all up in their feelings, so it's like I just have had a really hard time finding what I thought was the right. First of all, I think it should be 3 people. I think podcasts always work better with 3 people.
Depends on the 3 people.
Well, and see, that's, you know, I feel like I wanted to do it with 2 guys and a girl, a polar opposite guy and girl, or got 2 guys that were polar opposites, and then a woman that was kind of in the middle that sometimes would be on one side and sometimes be on the other, but she was like the voice of reason.
Okay.
So that was kind of my idea.
So the way that this started, it's called If I Remember Correctly. That's the podcast that I have. And it started with, it was like stories. Like Ryan would pull a picture from somewhere of my life. Because like I have had a crazy life and I've known this guy for 25 years. So he knows how insane my life was. So he would pull a picture and I would tell the story of that picture. This is before 90 Days. Then I did 90 Day Fiancé and he wanted to bring this podcast back for reasons that won't be spoken about here. And I was like, cool, this seems like a good time for me. We recorded 4 episodes, had like a break, recorded 4 more, and like they're all going to be released over the course of the next couple of months. But he doesn't want to do it anymore. He's like, I just wanted to do this for fun. This is like, you take the, like, he loves the aesthetic, like I guess like you, like the production of it and the creation of it. But what he does for like 40 people. He's like, this is way too much pressure. I run it like a business. Like I have a marketing team. I have people who cut it. Like I have a whole team behind it. I can't produce it is my problem. And I wouldn't say he's conservative. He's definitely liberal, but we see things very, very differently. And I think that's what makes that podcast work. And I think the same thing is true for the 2 of us. And I feel like that's what would make it interesting because we have 2 different markets.
Yeah, let me tell you,
you have a market.
The problem though, because people know both of us from TV, that's the problem. You saw, like, as soon as me and you got into a debate that last live, people freaked out and were like, like they.
But we don't have to do it here.
No.
Another platform.
I get you, but what I'm saying is that's like I want a podcast that like you can scream at me because you're so passionate, and then when we're done recording, it's like, hey, so what are you doing tonight, bro? Like I want it to be a show where like we voice our opinions and we go at it, but like it's not so like I did like those people in that last live, like everybody felt so awkward and like, and I was just like, bro, it's cool, like it's Danielle, like we argue, it's normal.
Yeah.
But like it made people uncomfortable, and I'm just like, we're arguing about a topic that it and like neither one of us like lost our temper. It wasn't like we were screaming at each other, but if we're not just like happy rainbows and fucking puppy dogs, people are like, oh my god, awkward, like this is so awkward, can you just not talk about. So again, it's like, you know, I don't know that the demographics of the people that follow us are going to be interested in the type of show that I want to do, which is like old 90s Howard Stern, where like he would, you know, just fucking ram somebody for, you know, doing something dumb. I want to be able to be 100% transparent, honest, open, you know, and it's hard. You know, it's hard to have that when you're on TV. Like,
hey, I see what you're saying. So I think what we could do, again, like I have a team behind me. So what we could do is we can put it, like create the thing, record the thing, and then there's people who are able to screen it, you know, and edit it however it needs to be edited. I'm always 100% myself. I'm always high. I'm always, you know, like I say what I say. I'm very honest. You know, like this is just how I move. I'm the same everywhere I am. It's why I can't be in a classroom anymore, because after 20 years, I realized I couldn't wear the mask. Like I'm always going to be me, but I think you move with more fear than I do. I don't give a fuck what anybody thinks. I truly don't.
Yeah.
Like, I think everybody knows that about me, and it limits me in some ways, but it also gives me a lot of opportunities in other ways. And I think that I know that you got a lot of beef about our lives the other night because it got political, and like your demographics maybe didn't support my politics as much, but I didn't. I got like a lot of support for that. And I feel like,
well, no, I think it's my people support me no matter what. Your people support you. I think that it's
yeah,
just,
but my people don't necessarily not support you.
well,
Just
no,
because
no,
you
no.
don't agree with me.
No. I'm just saying because they interpreted that you and I were in a real fight. Of course, my
Oh.
hardcore ride or die people, no matter what, are gonna be like, yeah, you know what I mean. So like again,
I didn't
which is
realize that people left thinking that we were really arguing.
100 people left. Someone pointed out in the comments that you've lost 100 viewers in 5 minutes.
Wow.
And that's what I explained to them. Danielle and I don't get paid any different if we've got 1 viewer or a million. We're not making money off of this. They said, thank you, Nancy, for buying that badge. But anyway, that was a little scary to me because we didn't even go in that hard, and people were like literally freaking out, like, oh my God, Tim and Danielle are. And I'm like, bro, like they don't even know that after the live I text you and we were like, I was like, yeah, bro. So I talked to Caesar. Caesar's not pissed at you. See you tomorrow. It was nothing, guys. Nothing. I got awkward at the end because I was getting texts about something, and somebody was watching, and it was like all in my head. So then I started kind of like being weird, I think, and I think people took that as like I was being weird with you.
Being weird with me. I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
I think so. All of this to say, I will come to Charlotte. Like I will come to you if you will produce it. Like if you know I have a short, like I have stuff.
I don't want to produce. That's what I don't want to do.
Or even if we just record it and you give me the raw files and my team edits it.
Yeah, I mean, we don't need to be in the same city. That's the beauty about.
But aesthetically, I'll show you what we've done, and I feel like aesthetically, I want to create something. Like I would probably get an Airbnb and create something.
Man, now you're talking about needing a production budget and shit. Like this is starting to be. Like,
I own that. So this is part of what I do. Like I create content. So
I'm just walking to grab a drink.
These things I already budget for. Like I travel to New York to do this. So it's a lot cheaper for me to drive to Charlotte than to fly to New York to do it. So it's like these are things that I already do. I just feel like it works well for me working with a man, and it works well for me working with a man who thinks differently about a lot of things than me because it makes the conversation, I think, more interesting.
Right.
I don't know. Think about it and like see if it's
something. Like trust me, I don't want to give you the wrong idea. I would love to do a podcast, but you're right, and I want to elaborate. I do tread more cautiously than you, but about very specific things. Yeah. Like people know me as being like Tim keeps it real, Tim's transparent, but like Tim's very cautious about a couple of different politics while I still have a TV or not politics, a couple of different topics while I still have a TV career.
Yeah.
If all of a sudden I wasn't doing TV anymore, then it wouldn't matter. But with the cancel culture and shit, like even when you're trying to have a healthy debate in some cases, you say one wrong thing and like people take it the wrong way. And then, like, you got a nightmare on your hands. And, like, I'm not done doing what I want to do in a 90-day world. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like,
no, I get it. I totally get it. And I respect that. Let's see. What are people saying? Okay.
Yeah, I feel like we've been on this tangent.
I'm not paying attention. Danielle is so hot. Thanks, guys. I love that I'm in my 40s and I can still be hot. That's so cute. We can't talk Danielle to Tim. You can call him later. Sorry.
Who saw the Dave Chappelle special that dropped on New Year's? Any feelings about that?
Wait, I didn't see it yet. Don't tell me.
I'm not gonna ruin it. I just want to know if anyone in the chat saw it because I've seen a lot of hate about it, and I'm just shocked. Like, because honestly, like in a really stretched way, I consider myself somewhat, and I mean, obviously, I'm not Dave Chappelle, but I'm on a comedy show. Pillow Talk's the only comedy in the franchise.
Oh, that's a comedy?
We're supposed to be telling jokes. So, I mean, I would say that, yes, our job is to
I never really thought about it that way. Okay.
Yeah, it's the only comedy in the franchise. So, I mean, the producers all have comedy backgrounds. So, when I see someone like a Chappelle who, again, in my mind is one of the greatest to ever do it, gets so much hate from a comedy special, it's very scary to me that we're just moving more and more in the direction of like comedians can't even tell jokes anymore, or they're getting, or people are trying to cancel them.
this is okay. So I have a couple of feelings about it. One, what does it mean to be canceled? Does it mean like you're blacklisted and can't ever work in a particular industry anymore? Does it mean like your livelihood is taken away? Like, to me, that level of canceling concerns me. Like if he lost his Netflix partnership,
No,
or
Netflix,
you know,
I will say, and this is important for everybody to know. So, two things. You know, Dave Chappelle did his return with Netflix. He had been off for like 10 or 11 years.
yeah,
He got paid 60 mil for 3 specials. And now they're paying him a flat rate of 20 mil a special, which is great money. Well, I think Sticks and Stones, or either that special or whatever the one that he went hard on, the trans topic. The I always say this wrong.
GBTQ,
Say it again.
LGBTQ.
LGBTQ group. I'm trying to be very careful. The group tried to cancel them, and they wanted Netflix to take it down. And the CEO of Netflix actually stood their ground, which I was surprised because any other network would have yanked it down, and was like, "No, we're gonna keep it up." And I actually gained some respect for Netflix, where it was like, "Yeah, like please stop." You know what? You see a picture of Dave Chappelle, you know his last 4 specials have been controversial to certain groups of people. Don't fucking click it. If you're
Yeah,
offended by it, don't watch it. But don't tell
yeah,
me I can't watch it or you can't watch it, because I think that he's funny as shit. Like, and I enjoy his specials. So, and he tells a lot of jokes that are against people like me, you know, but I
yeah.
think it's funny. I mean, again, I laugh at myself or jokes about other people. It doesn't matter. But Netflix did support him with that, and they also supported him with HBO put on the Chappelle Show, which he never really got paid for, and he asked like people not to watch it, and enough people didn't that HBO actually called him and finally paid him like 20 years later.
Wow.
So he had a couple of things. I mean, that's the thing. He's so big though, he can get away with being canceled and still he's fine. Like when Kathy Griffin got canceled for doing that photo shoot holding Donald Trump's head, she wasn't fine. You know what I mean? Like she lost all her deals, like most of her bookings. So like the different levels of where he's at on the ladder. I mean, first of all, if he never works again, he's fine financially and just off royalties of his other stuff. You know what I mean? But like me and you, not so much. Like I'm not fine if all of a sudden I can never work again. So
Well, I mean, this is the thing. I see that a little bit differently because I feel like I believe in God and I work through spirit. So I feel like all of our paths are divine. So if I have a set of values that I have decided that I live by, and I have a set of intentions that I've decided I live by, and I only do things that are within that set of values, and I don't do anything outside of that set of values, if I lose my 90-day career, if I lose my teaching career, if I lose my business, there's always going to be something else that's going to carry me. Someone might hand me a house or hand me, like a who knows, like there's always something that's going to save me because I'm moving in my right path. I'm moving in whatever it is that my purpose is on this earth. That's how I see it. And that's like, I know woo woo shit probably for you, but I don't really worry about 90-day saving me or like being the only way that I can have television, or if I lose 90-day I lose everything,
no.
because I
I
know
hope
that
that's
there's,
not what you heard me say, because my
well, even like it
career
seems
status
like
for
you're
90
you're
days is like
concerned.
number 4 of my incomes. Like it's not even in the
Yeah,
top 3.
no, but it sounds like the thing that holds you back from being 100% honest is not your other 3 careers. It's your TV career. So
But
that's what I heard.
told you, Danielle, because of TV, that affects all of my businesses. Just like, again, crypto has nothing to do with TV, but
Yeah.
because I'm on TV, they write articles saying the new Tim Malcolm crypto scam. That's what
Yeah.
you're not correlating that.
No,
When
I
you're on
am.
TV, like again, if you're in a scandal, your business will be affected by that,
Yeah.
even though it has nothing to do with 90 day,
Yeah.
because you're on 90-day. Like, so like you have to put it in the big picture of like selling guns has nothing to do with 90-day. But if all of a sudden they start writing articles like they did my first year that Tim Malcolm makes guns for narcos, You know, or for example, when they called the FBI on Avery and reported her as a terrorist for being Muslim, and the FBI contacted her, because we're on TV, that can affect real life, and also other ventures you're doing in real life, and that's the unfortunate part of it. So no, you're right. You're protecting one thing that also protects like your whole umbrella, right? Like, unfortunately, being a public figure, the TV part is the main part that everything else is under. Even if you're not, like, no, 90 days not the money I'm worried about, for example. Yeah. But because of 90 Day is people target you for being, you know, having a fan base or having a following on social media. Like my gun page, for example, before I was on TV, never had an issue. I had like 20,000 subs on my custom gun page. I woke up, Instagram deleted it. Somebody sat there and reported every picture of a gun I ever posted. So again, like, that used to get me a lot of sales. You can't sell guns on Instagram, but people would contact me and be like, hey, where's your website? How can I contact you? And again, that cost me money.
Yeah.
So, you know, a lot of people don't understand, I think, the sacrifice of, like, even if you're a good person on the show, you still have people that just hate people succeeding.
Yeah.
And they're haters. So, like, they'll just fuck with you to fuck with you.
Yeah. It's true.
So I posted this just so you can see, dang, Tim, you can talk, sorry. So when I talk, people don't like it. When I talk, and then when I'm quiet, they're like, Tim looks
you
like
can't make everyone happy, Tim. No, how are you going to make all 160
no, but I was telling
happy?
you this on another live that, like, people kept saying, shut up, Tim, let Danielle talk more. But then when I don't talk, people are like, Tim's not feeling this. He's not vibing. Tim, he's so over this. So you just can't win was the point, yes.
Oh, everybody's loving on your blue eyes.
Yeah, I know. God, that was the only thing God looked out for me with, boy.
Oh, that's a terrible thing to say.
God, well, I mean, I'm thankful he, you know, did that. So I don't know if you guys saw or not, but, like, a friend of mine just died. Another friend of mine was, like, holding him while he died. And I just want to say prayers to Johnny's friends and families, because that shit sucks.
When was this?
Yesterday I got the phone call that the night before. I don't know if you know this, but before TV, I used to manage a band, and, like, I helped them launch their 4th album and did their whole Europe tour. And the keyboard player for that band, they were having band. I actually bought my house from their guitarist. Yeah. They had a band practice. He walked outside, got in his truck to leave, and they noticed that, like, he never put it in reverse. And then all of a sudden they heard help, and he had a heart attack and just died.
How old
right there.
Is he?
Not that old, like maybe 53, oh, wow. 52. So
that's so scary.
Yeah. And I never, like, my friend Marty is, like, a really close friend of mine who I bought my house from. When I talk, he's got cancer right now. Like, bad cancer. And he's dealing with that, and then this just happened. So, like, he called me the other day, and I could hear in his voice, I felt, oh my God, it was horrible. Like, you could tell he had been crying, and, like, I don't know, hearing, like, a grown man, like, he's like a rock and roll dude, you know, just like that sad.
That's
was just
very sad.
It was horrific. So prayers to them, you know. Well, I think if he would have, this dude played keyboards for Belinda Carlisle in the 80s. Like, he was a really fucking phenomenal.
Can you sing me a Belinda Carlisle song? I know Belinda Carlisle, but I think we're alone now. Is that Belinda Carlisle?
I don't know.
Doesn't
I
seem
know the name,
to
but
be anyone around. Is that it? Can someone tell me?
I don't know.
Maybe I feel like I think we're alone now.
Are we still talking about my voice? What is the issue with my voice tonight? People keep saying my voice changed. I told them I'm using a filter, since apparently I always see that in the gym. Tim's using a filter.
Are you using filter?
I don't understand what filter people are talking about. I told you I have really expensive lights.
Great skin if that's not a filter for your age.
I took 2 cycles of Accutane. So I like after the age of 17, I've had maybe 3 pimples in my entire adult life.
That's amazing.
Yeah. I have no scarring. I never had acne.
That's great.
So yeah, it's not filters. It's my skin. Well, you've seen me in person. I've got good skin.
Yeah. Danielle, I think you and Tim are perfect to work together. I'm telling you.
Just one.
It would be a good podcast.
You can't listen to just one person, Danielle.
I know. I'm scrolling. I can't see. Kelly
Kevin
wants
is
to
a
be
place
our
on
third
earth.
person.
Yeah.
Did you ever meet Kelly? You never met Kelly, but
Kelly, Molly's Kelly?
No, not, and she's not on the show. She's
a girl.
Yeah.
Uh,
she wants to be our third person. I think she's like a friend of Winter's. Let me look. I see a lot of people who think that we should have a podcast. Okay. I'm just saying.
Guys, if my voice is changing, I don't know what to tell you. Again, like I've seen this going on in the chat for 10 minutes. Like, I'm not doing anything to my voice. This app is garbage. Like, I have problems every live I do, and let's not forget that it's gonna end. Like, this always kills me, guys. My lives end at the hour mark. There's nothing I can do to stop it. And as soon as they end, I'll get no less than 3 people that instantly write me and say, "What did I do wrong? You just kicked me out of your live." And I'm like, "No,
never do this to me.
I didn't actually. My live just ended, so you're good." So this live will end at an hour mark, and you don't need to write me and ask me what happened to your live. You already know because I just told you. Okay, but now I forgot what the fuck I was about to say.
Me too.
My voice, yeah, I can't fucking control my voice. Like, I don't know. Is Danielle's not changing? It's only mine. I mean, like, I get a technical issue every time I'm streaming on YouTube or on Instagram, and it stresses me because I just see people talk about it nonstop in the chat, and it's like there's nothing I can do to fix it. But it seems like it's bothering people like really badly.
I'm sorry, but someone just said heaven is a place on earth is Belinda Carlisle. I remember.
I literally just.
Baby, do you know what that's worth?
I literally just said that.
You did?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't see that.
No. Well, you wouldn't have heard
it. This is the problem. If I am reading the comments, I am not listening to you. I can only do one thing at a time.
Okay.
It's the weed. It's what it does to my brain. So as I'm scrolling, I'm looking for the comments. And
you need to take some Adderall so you can like multi-function.
No, it's called marijuana. It just has destroyed my brain cells.
Okay, thank you guys. So maybe some of you have like a StarTAC and those things I'm sounding a little different on or something. I don't know. Like,
I feel like you sound fine.
Yeah, I feel like I do too, but apparently I don't. Okay. So anyway, let's change subjects. They don't like depressing stuff.
Guys, everyone wants me on Single Life, but honestly, I'm seeing what I'm seeing. I don't know if I'm the right fit.
I'm not. I don't smoke weed, by the way. Whoever just said that. So don't because Danielle talks about it doesn't mean that I do it too. And I don't have anything against it, but like no. Yeah, you should do Single Life. Well, guys, first of all, we don't just get to do whatever we want. They have to ask us. Like, I love that one. Everybody's like, Tim, you need to host the tell-alls. And I'm like, okay, well, I don't just get to show up to the tell-all and tell them, like, I think I'm going to take over today. You know? It's like a real job. You know, guys, we're like, you know, your boss has to tell you when you're going to work. Yeah. They say we both go robotic is the app.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So is there anything that you would like us to do about it, or could we move on from that subject? Is there anything
Can you do a 90-day podcast? So this is, if you watch my podcast, we talk about 90-day a lot, but we talk about it objectively, and I wonder if we could do that. I want you to watch my podcast because I talk about 90-day all the time. I talk about Johan all the time.
Bad boy, whoever just wrote me that question about the Pokemon cards, send me a DM because I'm interested in that. So I can't do a 90-day podcast. Okay. And I know this for a fact.
Oh, because you do Pillow Talk, so that kind of makes sense. Because Pillow Talk is like a 90-day podcast, but on TV.
Yeah.
I can't the name of my podcast is If I Remember Correctly. It's on YouTube.
Tim, what time do you go to bed? Different time?
Never.
Like
never.
Yeah,
never goes to bed.
I text Danielle at like 2, 3 a.m. sometimes, like getting that she goes to bed like a normal person. So
this is past my bedtime. Usually my head is down by like 9:15, and my candle is burning. It's like I I have a wind down, and then I get up at 5:30.
So guys, I'm just gonna warn y'all, for those of you that are very excited to see me on Single Life, like that shit is gonna be cringe as fuck. Now, I think you guys will get a good laugh. I really do, but like I'm warning you that like it's Tim. It's the same Tim that you've watched for 4 years with, new ladies and stuff. So
So how many girlfriends do you have in the show?
I can't. I haven't even made my first appearance yet. They gotta watch. I can't talk about anything with Single Life, and even if I could, I wouldn't risk saying the wrong thing. So no, I can't talk. You gotta watch. I think my first appearance on this Single Life will be the next episode. So
when did you get to be friends like this? When did we become friends?
I don't know. But before I forget, you were right about that little issue I told you about. It was what you said.
I don't remember what I said, but I remember saying.
I told you that someone had called me and yeah. So think about it,
and
I'll tell you.
Yeah, and I said what it was. I think I remember. I'm gonna find the text.
Well, it was mostly not 100% the context you put it in, but I'll explain to you later. So I hate how they are avoiding showing you as having your own storyline. No, they are. So last season I didn't have a storyline. I was just in Veronica's. Okay, this time the way they did it is like, so here's how you know if you have a storyline or not. If you have a hero shot, which I'm sure you guys have seen the photo floating around to me in that like purple blazer or whatever, and like, Veronica and Chantel, all the ladies got very beautiful photos. So if you get a hero shot, then you're a main cast member. That none of the side characters or whatever get that. Okay. So I was not main cast the last season. I was just in the show or whatever as a supporting cast. This time I am main cast, but because Veronica and I are both on it, and we're both like every story that's ever been told in 90 Day History has included Veronica and I, we're in each other's story. So like you'll be watching Veronica's story and see me and vice versa. Sometimes. Now, there may be sometimes, actually, I know that there'll be sometimes that you'll see me and I won't be with Veronica. So it won't be, like it was last season. It'll be different.
I love the purple suit.
Oh, yeah. That purple suit is dope. I kept that bad boy. Because that actually wasn't mine. That when we did that photo shoot, they actually had clothes there, but I kept it. So.
Did someone say herpes? What was that in reference to? I was looking for that text message, so I
So many people are hating on Jamal. Well, I mean, I hate to say it, but Jamal has done some pretty hateable things. That's very easy to hate on somebody. It's all in, how you go on TV, especially when you're a newer person. Like, you haven't established who you really are to the fan base yet. So you have to be even more careful because you're already going to get a shitty edit on at least one show. It took me 2 years to get any of y'all to like me, No
one liked. I don't even know. I don't know how many people really like me. I still feel like I have a lot of people.
I don't see a ton of hate about you, but I mean every cast member gets.
No. I know everybody gets hate, but I think I don't get as much as I used to. It used to be really bad. But all Johan needed to do was cheat on me, and then all of a sudden I'm no longer villain. Isn't that amazing?
Oh, Josh, that's funny. Tim was talking about you were right about that quote thing. I was joking, said herpes. That is funny, but that's not the thing. Yeah, but that's funny. Sorry we didn't get your joke and ruined it, but that is a funny joke. Sorry. It's legal. It's legal, so how can they? I don't know what you're talking about. Danielle is great. Danielle, my beliefs are very different than yours, but was really interested to hear you and Tim discuss it last night. You're the only person. Who the fuck said that? Gaylor Bow?
It's not the same. A lot of people said that to me. I'm telling you.
Okay, that's cool, but I'm telling you, during the live, you said you can't multitask, so you were probably like defending yourself to me and you weren't reading. I was reading and talking, and trust me, it was like by the second the sentiment was getting blacker and blacker, and like by the end of it, actually, when you were like, shut up and let me say my point, I was like, all right, I'm going to shut up. I read so many bad comments while you were telling me what you wanted to tell me. That's why I was just like, I'm done. Because I could tell people were so the fuck over it. Yeah. And again, it sucks because, like, y'all see us here tonight. What was that, 2 days ago? There's no beef, guys. No beef. Just because people argue doesn't mean, and I don't even consider that arguing. Arguing is screaming. Like, I have to explain this to my ex all the time. Like, she thinks if I say something that I disagree with her, then we had a fight.
I also, your tone sometimes sounds like you're a lot more annoyed than you are. And it took me a minute with you to learn that. Like, it sounds like you're very annoyed and frustrated.
I mean, I am a pretty annoyed person, but not personally with you.
Yeah, but I used to take it, I think, more personally than I do now. Now it's just like your affect, but I can
my
understand
face too, right?
Yeah, like I can understand how people witnessing or hearing that would be like, oh, he's
Man,
legitimately annoyed.
So just like my ex, she would always tell me, it's not what you said, it's the way you say it. It's your tone.
I get that too. People tell me I'm condescending.
I'm like, well, I'm sorry, like I am like, especially if I get heated, and I think like, yeah, I was a little heated during that, but not like, I want to be clear. If you're passionate about a subject, it's okay to get heated as long as you remain respectful. Yeah. And like, we're not screaming at each other and throwing shit around. But like, it takes a lot to get me like mad. Yeah. You know what I mean? You don't get it. Like, I at 43, I mean, you gotta really fucking do something that's like, well, I don't know. Did they show that preview yet of I don't know what preview they showed of Single Life, but you may see me.
There's one of you and Jamal.
Yeah, so I'll say this. They captured me legitimately the maddest I've been in like a couple years. And that's one thing I'm not looking forward to seeing on TV, because I think it's gonna like kind of offset people that's used to me just being like, oh, whatever. But like, I got fucking mad, like, and I went back to my 17-year-old brain. Wow. You know, so the little bit of ghetto, because I grew up in the hood, the little bit of hood left in my brain started to come out.
Jamal talking about you being a bad dad. What's
that's the scene. Yeah, so you guys are gonna get to see like what I look like when I'm really mad. Well, I don't know. I mean, I don't know what they're gonna show. Who knows what makes it? But yeah, that's a very interesting. If you don't watch Single Life, I would watch it just for that scene because it's a doozy.
That was last night because I was waiting for you to start yours and you didn't. I mean, different opinions makes other people much more interesting. People can have a conversation and disagree at the same time. It's okay to debate. It's healthy. Where's the beef? Most people on these shows are delusional. Arguing is strength.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm caring, but I'm also human, and that's what I always say. Like, I have bad days where like my attitude needs to be checked. I wake up on the wrong side of the bed sometimes. Like,
wait, can I respond to this?
Huh?
Sorry, I want to respond to this comment, and I'm going to lose it.
Go ahead.
It says, for being spiritual, Danielle, I'm surprised you stood with Johan for so long for how he treated you. Guys, I was in Dominican Republic for a year. I got a lease for an apartment for 1 year. So I moved there. We had our relationship. The day that I found out he was cheating on me, he was removed by the police within 24 hours. The day I found out. It's not like I knew he was cheating and I was like, oh, stay in my bed, please. Hell the fuck no. He was gone immediately. So I don't know if this show like made it look like that timeline was different. I think it made it look like we split up at Christmas, but we actually didn't split up until the end of May.
Hey, Mary, you want to hop in? We got Mary from Smothered up in here.
Who's Mary?
She's on that show Smothered.
I've never seen that.
Yeah, actually, I got in trouble one time for talking to Mary.
Really?
So I don't know if we should do that. Yeah. Okay. Mary, do you remember that? I just kind of remember that. Yeah. This was like a couple of years ago. And well, again, I don't want to talk about that part of things. But yeah, I got talked to about that. Apparently that you're not supposed to cross-reference shows.
Oh.
So, or cross the the streams, so to speak.
Interesting.
Yeah. I keep telling you, man, you've not seen a whole side that I have, which is good. It's great, but
I go on live with Carlos from 60 Days In all the time. He like saved me in one of my
again, we also
with
have
Johan.
a different babysitter now than we had, and like that. I don't know if you were around for that or not, but like, anyway, we'll talk about it later. So what do you guys want to talk about? Oh, I got another question. Favorite NFL or NHL or NBA? Like, okay, I don't know anything about sports, guys. So Danielle, if you have something.
You know anything about sports? So I grew up on Long Island, so I loved sports. I also married a bookie once, and so I had to have like all of the screens in my living room and watch all the different football games at the same time because there were all these bets happening. So I was very into football. Grew up in a football town, so I was a Jet fan in a house full of Giant fans, and I lived in Brooklyn for 13 years, so I'm a Net fan. And what else? I don't care about hockey. I don't know. Hockey is for like a very special kind of
man. Like, y'all, please pay attention. Don't attack Mary. Listen, guys, it's the same thing with 90 Day, man. Fucking TV is for entertainment. That's why y'all
What is
watch
Smothered?
it.
Wait, tell me what Smothered is. I don't know.
Like the daughters and moms that have ridiculously close relationships.
Oh,
right.
Okay.
So, but guys, like Mary's awesome. She's super nice, and like again, every show you watch, guys, has been dramatized with editing for your entertainment. Please, guys, please. Please don't be that. I always tell people that my fan base are the smart fans because I educate you guys constantly.
Weird things like have colonics together.
Okay.
That's interesting.
Yeah. Which, again, I do weird things like, fucking do a TV show with my ex. You know what I mean? It's like everybody does weird shit. Like most of y'all just don't have a camera following you around. That's, whatever. But at the end of the day is like, I don't care what somebody does weird on TV. I care about how they treat me. And Mary's always been fucking nice as shit to me. In fact, I was going through a really hard time with my depression and shit. And Mary was like one of the only people was like, hey, come out to Florida and hang out. Like she was there for me when I really needed somebody. So be nice to her, please. I will not tolerate disrespect to any of my peeps.
He must really love you, Mary.